Welcome to Humbly the Best Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, here with Mike and Joel, three diehard fans and friends breaking down each game throughout the season for you. The journey to Banner 18. Welcome back to another episode of Humbly the Best Celtics podcast, a podcast about Humbly the best Celtics basketball team we've ever seen, Humbly the best team in the NBA, with Humbly the best basketball player in the NBA today. The Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum are running the NBA the last couple of weeks. We have been absolutely running teams out of the gym, coming hot off a game against the Warriors, where we absolutely destroyed them. Curry couldn't even come out at halftime. He was stuck on the bench with his tail in between his legs. And then team after team, the Celtics have won game after game. The win streak continues, and the Celtics have really found their groove. Just impressive basketball from this team. Probably some of the best basketball we've seen, definitely in the last decade from the Celtics team, and possibly in the NBA in the last decade of regular season basketball. Now, can this team take it to the playoffs? Is the question.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. 11-game win streak. Because we were talking about it, like, man, we wanted to get that seven. Because I think the longest win streak of the year was six going into All-Star break, and they've just come out with like the pedal to the metal. They look refreshed. They look like energized. They're playing basketball the right way. I think on both sides of the ball. Like that's what I loved yesterday. Is we played the whole game like we were down 15 points. Like
Yeah.
on defense, we're getting into people. We were switching, extra effort on closeouts. The ball, and then on offense, the ball was just zipping the whole time. But I think
Yeah.
over this like 11 games, I love the way we're defending because that's what's going to win us championships. Our threes sometimes fall, sometimes they don't. But I love the brand of ball we're playing. Even without Porzingis playing the other night, we still just locked them up, and I thought it was just a clinic. Like the way the Warriors used to be back in the day, I feel like we're playing that style of basketball right now.
Yeah, I think Curry just said it like we just did to them what they used to do to teams.
Yeah.
Joel?
No, I agree with that 100%. And I love the defense is one of those things that like you knew they had the personnel to be like elite, but you didn't realize like they had the personnel and the desire to be all time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this defense is so good, and I know the numbers will tell you they're probably the second or third best defense in the league, but this defense can get to a level that not many others in the league can, and they still will be an all-world offensive team. Like that's just crazy. And they can do it in a multifaceted or like way, right? Yesterday everything was falling, so it didn't matter what they did. They were going to make everything. That Philly game though, they took away threes and they decided to go to the hoop because they didn't have any rim protection. Like the way we can just find mismatches, exploit those, get to the free throw line with our best players, right? With KP, Tatum, and Brown, they can get to the line like sometimes it feels like at will. And then like even from two, like what team is a better 2-point shooting team than this one? Like Tatum, Brown, Porzingis making those tough 2-pointers. And then you got Holiday and White who are really good guards at finishing at the rim too. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy to
There's just so
watch
many
them.
ways this team can like beat teams and find ways. Like you said, Philly takes away the three. And we're going to the hoop. I mean, Drew's had unbelievable games from the corner, shooting lights out from the corner three spot right now. Derek White's like Mr. Fourth Quarter lately. This win streak's had some really exciting wins in them. Early on we beat the Heat, which for me it was just that mental block of just like, well, let's just start taking care of the Heat all the time now, especially with the team that they or lack of team that they have. And then the Knicks game, I really like that Knicks game. First half, tight game. Come out of the locker room. Second half, Jason Tatum in the locker room reported that he says, I'm going to take Brunson because Brunson was just absolutely killing us. I think Brunson had like 2 or 3 field goals on him the entire second half. Just shut him down. They had zero offense in that game in the second half. Just there's so many weapons on this team. Obviously, beating Philly was great. No Embiid. Coming up against the Mavericks. The Mavericks, their record doesn't show it, but they've been one of the hotter teams, especially since the All-Star break, and then to come out and handle them like that. And then people say the same thing with the Warriors. The Warriors were 13-3 in their last games, last 16 games before facing the Celtics, and we just absolutely took care of them yesterday. 140-88. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. First team in NBA history, or first team, in NBA history to win 350+ games in a season, which is amazing. And it just shows what this offense and the defense is capable of.
Yeah, I mean, we hold
Like
the under 88 points for the whole game, And I know their starters didn't play in the second half, but that's unreal. One of the other points too is with the 3-point shooting and all that stuff, like it doesn't seem like they're taking as many bad shots in this stretch either. Like Mike alluded to it, the ball is moving around and zipping around.
Yeah.
Like the defense has been unreal, but also like the ball movement, the playmaking that Tatum has been able to really put on display has just been
Yeah, I
great to
think
see.
when you say that, even one of the plays that came to mind for me was yesterday against the Warriors. Tatum had the ball. The ball was zipping around, and Tatum got the ball. He's really wide open for three at the top of the three. And some point, I think it was in the second, and he pump faked and then drove it instead, which was crazy because I mean, the guy even before him, I think it might have been Brown. They were both wide open. They're both cooking. The game's out of reach. Yeah, he still pump fakes it and takes his better shot of getting to the rim. We're just starting to take a lot better shots. And even Tatum, I mean, just look how efficient he is. Talk about every guy sacrificing on the team. Tatum's taking way less shots than usual. He's playmaking, but he's so efficient right now because he's taking good shots. We're not taking the
his
Jason
spots too,
Tatum
though.
9 threes a game anymore.
I think he's picking his spots, which I think is the next level to being a superstar. Is like he can go the first half 8 points and still be effective, and then come
Yeah.
in the third quarter and drops 20.
For
Yeah,
the
and I love the
first
tone we
Like
found. Like we know everyone's spot right now. Like the first quarter, just clear out. It's Jaylen Brown's. Tatum had said that a couple games ago. Like, dude, he just comes out with some fire, and it's just get out the way. First quarter is Browns. Like you very rarely see Tatum more than 6 points in that first quarter. If there's an over under for that, always go under because Jaylen Brown is clear out the way. This is Jaylen Brown's quarter, and Jalen's doing an awesome job of that this year, opening games for us. I loved the intensity that Jaylen Brown brought yesterday. Obviously, they poked the bear, sagging off of him, which Steve Kerr, for like an all-time great coach, what kind of game plan is that? At minimum, Jaylen Brown is an all-star. You pick to sag off an all-star? Like you Jaylen Brown's having one of the best seasons of his career, most efficient years of his career, and they sagged off an all-star like
that's some
Jaylen
bad
Brown.
intel, is what
No,
that is.
that's yeah. So, and that's the other thing too with it, like sagging off. One of the things I love to see is they took it personal, and it wasn't just Jalen. It was kind of
Yeah,
like everybody
everyone,
took
yeah.
it personal that they left him wide open out there, and it really is like just goes to show. Like the percentages say one thing. Like you look at the whole season, Jalen Brown's a 35% 3-point shooter. The last 6 games though, he's been closer to 50%. So
Yeah, and you also
it
leave him wide
is
open.
yeah, like and you're gonna give him 3-point contest 3-pointers if what's her face can make them. Sabrina? No, I'm pretty sure Jalen Brown can knock those down too. So I want to give him those shots. It's just
Yeah, but I love the intensity. I mean, for the Celtics, yeah, the Warriors, they haven't had the best season. They've been hot as of recent, but how this team has acted mentally has been huge. And obviously, a huge credit to Joe Mazzulla. I think he's doing a great job of managing this team right now. Someone said it the other day, it may have been Joe, like years prior, the Celtics just looked past the regular season. And Joe's doing a really good job of taking something from every game and using it as like a learning block from the team. He says all the time he takes something from every loss and every win as an opportunity to learn something. We made it to the finals against the Warriors. We lost to a really good Warriors team. We were up in that series. We lose it. Then next season we came in and just didn't really care about learning anything. It was like, hey, we're same team. We're running it back. We're just going to end up there. That's not how the NBA works. You lose to a team like the Heat. 1, 2 and 3 were probably some of the most depressing games I've ever seen. 3 was by far, and they kind of just look past it. And this year, like you just see the reason, like this team is going to do big things. I know it in the playoffs this year is because how serious they're taking the regular season. I mean, just look at the standings. We're well up on teams right now, and they're doing a great job. And one thing I thought about the other night was one of the biggest concerns for this team was how they could handle things mentally, right? We just kept getting critique for that. I think we've done an awesome job handling teams we need to. But then 2 was the bench. And you can look at our bench. If you're not like this a big NBA fan or a Celtics fan, you look at the bench and say that's the Celtics' weakness. But I can't tell you a game in the last 20 games that the Celtics bench has let me down. They've done everything we've asked them to do. Al Horford's been phenomenal.
The other thing is too, you don't ask him that much. I mean, you have your top 6 is
I mean,
better
Joe's
than
only going to
anybody
run
else.
7, 8, or 9 a night right now.
Yeah,
but Hauser's playing awesome. Pritchard's playing great.
You're not getting that
Al's
drop
doing
off
everything we
when you go to
need.
the bench. It's maintaining. They're at least maintaining, if not like growing
Exactly.
the lead.
The
which is all
non-Tatum
natural.
minutes have been fine. Exactly. Cornette, dude, who would have thought Cornette would have been this good? You got And now
I,
big fan of Tillman right now. I mean, he's
yeah.
playing awesome for us. Great. Al 2.0. Can't tell the difference of them when they're out in the court. I just don't think the bench has ever let me down in the last 20 games. That it never said, like, man, they let go of the lead. That their
Yeah.
plus minus dropped all of a sudden because they were on the court.
I think part of that too, though, is just it's credit to them. Yes, they're playing great, but part of it is like credit to Joe and the coaching staff for the rotations that he
Yeah,
runs.
great
He's not,
rotations. Yeah.
yeah, he's not leaving guys out there like, and that's a great thing about the depth the Celtics have, right? You run, all right, so you take Tatum and Drew Holiday off the floor, and now you have Brown, KP, and White. Like that's pretty awesome with two bench players.
100%.
Then
And
those
throwing an
guys,
Al. Yeah.
yeah, those guys get a rest, then you bring in Tatum and Drew, and that's really the rotation they run with three bench players with Hauser, Cornette, and Pritchard. Like, so really credit to the benches play great, but also Joe running rotations that puts them in a great spot to be successful.
I think a big thing too, like over this last stretch, is Drew looks way more comfortable out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like it took him a while to kind of get going, but he's just he knows when to pick his spots. He's hitting those corner threes. He's driving on
Pull up
people.
threes too, yeah.
He looks so much more comfortable. I think that was the missing piece to the starters is getting Drew comfortable. And now that he is, like it's
Yeah, at this peak of our Celtics, it's Drew's playing great every night. He's not really like missing on the stat sheet. He fills up so many lines. But yeah, I agree. I think he's doing a better job of finally finding like his shots. Like his shot quality was not great. In the beginning, I'd be like, man, he's just like smart offensively again,
yeah.
but a better passer, a little bit better playmaker. But now his shots are awesome. I mean, he's found his spot, like go in the corner, and if you leave him open there, you're in trouble. He's shooting like 60% from the corner, something
Leave him
crazy.
open. He was running out of bounds, making threes from
Yeah,
the corner.
fading away
Oh,
into
that
the
one was
corner.
beautiful.
Yeah, but he's and he's so great at that back down, backing guys down in
Yeah.
the paint. It's just like an automatic 2 points every time on that pull up. So he's getting a lot better spots. I agree. I think he's just way more comfortable, which is helping this team really just continue to climb to another level.
And that's the thing, is like this team had another level, right? What did they start? 12
Yeah,
losses before the All-Star break, and we're
right.
talking about them going to another level. That's
Yeah, insane.
nutty.
Yeah, what we're doing against these teams right now is, absolutely insane. Doesn't get easy. We got headed on a big road trip, really testing the win streak here. But we got Cavaliers tomorrow night. No Donovan Mitchell, so really want the Celtics to get that win there. Then we go off to Denver, not an easy place to play and not a good team to play against with a win streak. But Denver, a nice 10 o'clock start Eastern time against Denver, and then we go off to Phoenix on Saturday night. And you never know who you're going to play with Phoenix because they play different guys every night. Sometimes Beal sits, sometimes Booker sits. You never know who's going to play that game. Nurkic went off last night for like 30 something rebounds. So hopefully we can rebound that game. And then and then the Blazers and Jazz to end it. Blazers have been kind of hit or miss lately. And then the Jazz, I mean, it's the end of a road trip, 5 games, and you have to play the Jazz. Just kind of a sneaky team on you. So tough 5 game road trip. But man, nothing would be better than coming back with on a 16 game win streak if you could handle business. 3 very good teams. Nonetheless, I really want to take care of Denver at home. That could be a finals preview right there. And playing in Denver, with what we're doing right now would be a pretty impressive win from the Celtics.
Yeah, my concern would be I really hope KP can play like for at least 4 of those 5 games with the contusion. I think they're being super cautious
Oh,
with
I
him.
do too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I
What do you
really
guys
want.
do as the Celtics? Obviously, we're what 8.5, 9 games up on the next place team. I mean, do you mess with it right now? Do you start sitting guys? I mean, at what point do you say a couple games left, we're not playing guys? I mean, what are you guys doing?
I think they can start cutting back on minutes before they start like just outright sitting guys. I mean, they got some rest last night, so if we could do
Yeah, if
more
you
of
could
that,
blow out teams by the
yeah,
third quarter, like second halftime, then
yeah,
then we're
take a
good.
quarter and a half off.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I don't feel like anyone. I don't feel like any of the starters are playing heavy minutes. I mean, especially over this stretch. I mean, we've beaten everyone by double
Yeah, we beat
digits.
teams
Most
pretty
often,
well.
like
But do
last
you
time.
start like resting a guy a night? Do you like how many is if there's 4 games left and you're up 10 games on second place, are you sitting guys or no?
Yeah, but I think how many games are left in the season? We're at
22,
22. Yeah, we got a month before we
game,
have.
8.5 game lead right now.
Yeah. I think we have
So
a month before we really start thinking about that, but I wouldn't be shocked to see like minutes start to go down for guys, especially in the second half of games.
Yeah, it's tough for me because it's like it makes me nervous. Like I cringe every time like KP goes down or something, right? But it's
Yeah.
like at the same time, like you're peaking right now. Just keep rolling. I want them to keep finding that rhythm. I don't want to lose the rhythm either. Even like 3 games left. You face the last 3 games of the year are Knicks, Hornets, Wizards. Hornets, Wizards, not very good opponents, but it's like, can we get them out there, like Joel said, just for some minutes? But at the same time, I don't want to start messing too much with rotations,
I'm gonna make a
just
bold
because I really
prediction
like what we're
here.
seeing.
That Wizards and Hornets game, those are going to be big Kata games. He's going to
Yeah.
play a lot of minutes those games. You're going to see some Walsh minutes too.
I mean, definitely against the Wizards game. It's a Sunday at 1 o'clock. Mike Gorman's last game, commentating for the Celtics. So shout out to him. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to see any really starters on that game. There's no doubt about that, which
I
is
think,
fine. But it's like how much you don't want to pull back too much where these guys are ice cold going into game one.
and the nice thing about the last 7 games, 6 out of the last 7 are at home too. So you're not traveling. You get to be home. There's no back
Yeah,
to backs during that stretch.
yeah, that's huge.
Like,
The thing is, you just don't want to be ice cold going in, and with the way the East is so tight right now, I mean, most of those teams are playing to the last game. They're gonna need it, just with how tight the rest of the East is after us.
and we have what, almost a 5 game lead on the West, because I think that matters for obviously, finals, home
Yeah,
court advantage. So I
for
think
home
during
court in
that
the
stretch, I
finals.
think that's kind of maybe where we kind of see what's left. And
Yeah,
but
I mean, on this win streak, you can really do some real damage right now. Some of these teams are really banged up right now. But yeah, I mean, if we can continue this home streak, I mean, think about it. We have 12 losses on the season.
just
That's
keeping everyone
insane.
healthy, I think, is the most important thing at this point.
Hmm.
Porzingis, we got to have him healthy to win a championship. I feel like,
Yeah,
or
even Brown, he's questionable tomorrow. Like he banged up that knee a little bit yesterday. Sit
yeah.
him out if you need to. Like, yeah, I want the win streak to obviously keep going. They don't have Mitchell tomorrow. Tatum and Drew and White can hold down the fort at this point. Um, you know, I'd start Steve Havlicek. He really impressed me yesterday. I want him to get some more minutes. That boy can ball, dude. He can shoot.
Dude, he's a
But
chucker, bro. He's gonna go in there if he's shooting
bro,
good or
he
not.
catches
He's
and
gonna
just
Talk about
be
some
shoots.
poor shots.
chucking.
He had some shots.
It's like
Yeah,
Duncan
With his
Robinson, bro. Anytime he touches the ball, he's shooting.
he's
It's
shooting.
crazy.
That's going up.
Dude, that's what he's in there to do is just shoot. But at the end of the day, he ain't gonna take Sam Hauser's minutes. Sam Hauser can play better defense than him. Because his defense is horrible. Well, let me ask you guys this. Big discussion during the All-Star break. Jason Tatum for MVP. Feel like he's been getting pretty disrespected. Been ranked 5 or 6 most of the time. I think he picked it up to like 4 this week. Guys in front of him like Giannis, things like that. They talked about it during the All-Star break, came up quite a bit about Tatum. Some saying he's getting kind of punished for his early success of making so many Eastern Conference finals, but never able to, win the ring. And that's kind of been punishing him. And I'd agree. I think he's been held to a higher standard than anybody else. At the end of the day, we're not punishing Joel Embiid for never getting past the second round successfully year after year and never doing anything in the playoffs. Jason Tatum just turned 26 years old and has done some amazing things. This year's the year he gets the ring. But what you guys take? Do you think Jason Tatum is your MVP this year? Has he been getting the media hate, or where do you guys rank him right now in the MVP race? Who's he up against?
I think for me, I'd put him third overall. I probably have Jokic in front of him, SGA, and then Tatum, Giannis, Doncic for the top 5. Um, and the reason behind that, obviously, Jokic, I think, is head and shoulders the best player in the NBA. And then Shea is just so important to that team. He's like that team's offense. And I love Tatum. Tatum's, I think, is one of the best players in the NBA, but he's not the only offense the Celtics have. So just what he's asked to do is a little bit different, I think, than what SGA is, and that's really what wins this award. And then I think it's a bigger critique of what this award is. Like it really is an offensive award more than it is anything about being like the most valuable round all around player. But yeah, right after those two guys, I think Tatum's like right there, like probably 2A or 2B with SGA.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot, I think, different to say to that. I agree with you, Joel. Like, I think Jokic is The dude averages like a triple double. I mean, the dude just amazing player. Like he's so like I don't know. He's 25, almost 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists per game. Like
Yeah,
all
you
like
guys are whack.
almost like top 14 in scoring, top 4 in rebounds, top 4 in assists, like in the league. Like that's just ungodly numbers.
And he's a serviceable defender. Like people want to make it out like he's not a great defender, but you can look at the like his plus minus on that side. Like he does
I
have
wouldn't give him as much
impact.
credit if they weren't like as good of a team as they are. Like if they were like 10, like if they were 7th, 8th in the standings, like I
It's
wouldn't.
yeah,
Oh, he's
that's my whole point with
the
Luca.
top
Like
team. Like
yeah, Luca's it's a playing team. Like it's not like he's leading this top 4 team in the West. It's a playing team that
well,
he's
half a game out of first right now, so it's like it's tough.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, I think you guys are absolutely whack. Listen, the Boston Celtics are 48-12. We're talking a
You
dynasty, an
okay,
absolute powerhouse of a team.
they're
Hold
not
on.
dynasty.
I quietly sat there for your garbage. The Boston Celtics are 48-12. An unbelievable performance. And they would not be like that if it wasn't for Jason Tatum. He leads the team in points. He leads the team in rebounds. He leads the team in steals. He does all these things on both ends of the court. I get the award of they don't care about defense. I know that. But he is leading the #1 team in the NBA. And when the #1 team in the NBA is that far ahead of any other team in the NBA, he's the MVP.
You know what
We're that separated from any other team in the NBA. He's MVP. He's leading in every category. And what he's doing is unbelievable. He's sacrificing, but yet he still averages 27 points a game.
there's an
He's
award for the
rebounding at
best
8.5
player.
rebounds
There's
a
an
game.
award for the best player on the best team. It's called the
Yeah,
Finals MVP.
Finals MVP, and that's what I want him to win. There's no doubt he's going to win that. But at the end of the day, the NBA MVP, he is totally being weighted on this past issues of the finals 2 years ago and everything else. That no one else is being weighed upon that. When a team is this far away from any other team, there is nobody even close to the Boston Celtics right now. And Jason Tatum is the leader of that team. You're the MVP. The value of the Boston Celtics right now is like no one else.
you're also in the East too, where the competition is not as good as at the
We're
West.
6
The
games
West
over
has a lot
the
more
next
teams
team in
like
the
that
entire
are
NBA.
huh?
The entire NBA. We are way ahead of everyone else in the entire NBA right now. We're like 6 games over the Thunder right now. When a team is this good, that far ahead over anyone else, it can't be disputed. It should be Jason Tatum as the MVP, hands down. He's leading the key. He is the leader of the best team in the NBA. I mean, that's asinine that people don't think that.
I disagree. I mean, I don't think it's asinine. He's in the MVP conversation, but
4, 5, and 6. Like, come on. We're talking Giannis Antetokounmpo. How valuable is he? His team's horrible. They don't play any defense. His team is horrible. How is that value? He has literally declined.
Which one of us said Giannis?
He's ahead of him in the standings.
Not the conversation we're having.
SGA, not impressive.
Oh, he averages like he literally does 31 a night every night.
But when a team, can you not agree though, when a team is this good, there has to be some kind of consideration?
No, I definitely do, and that's why he is where he is. Like, if you just put his raw stats against everyone else's that's in the MVP conversation, his raw stats aren't the same. But what he does on this team on the defensive end, the way he leads and sacrifices this team, puts him there. And the fact that they're the best team in the NBA,
He just doesn't get enough.
puts him.
We're exactly 6 games over the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are in first place in the West. 6 games. I mean, it's not just, oh, the East is bad, the East is banged up. I mean, we're that much better than the rest of the NBA.
Part of it is that too, though. Like that's why the record plays out the way it does. Is part of it is the East is, but and to that point, that's just taking care of business. You only play who you play. Like you only play who's on the schedule. But like guys like Jokic, the area of control for Jokic is way different. He averages way more touches. He does more. He's asked to do more than what Tatum is. And that's not a slam to Tatum.
There's great players on their team, and yet they're still third place in the West.
They're half a
Here's
game.
the thing. I think we'll garner him some. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the next 5 are nationally televised games. Cleveland, Denver, Phoenix. If he goes in and wins those games on the road,
Just look what's
I think
changed
that
in the
starts
last since the
going to
All-Star break.
Denver. You go into Denver against Jokic, you get that win on Denver's floor. I think
And
people
Tatum
will start
plays
talking
well.
more about it. You got to go there, Denver. If you want to beat the best, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Look
That-
what he
and
just
that-
did to
Denver
to
and make it.
Luca. Look what he just
No,
did to Luca. I mean,
I-
he's done that this year.
But Luka's not the best player. Luka's not in the MVP conversation. Like I don't think like a Jokic and Shea.
He
Like we're
has
talking
been,
about.
unfortunately, but they're a playing team. So I
And
don't
this
know
is
why
this
it's
is
even
our
serious.
three conversation.
Our conversation.
You're bringing up Giannis. You're bringing up Halliburton.
Halliburton. He's trash.
fell off a cliff. So that's my thing too, though. Like, just look at it in the last 2 weeks where he's ranked on the MVP ladder and in the conversation, like even in the odds. They're changing as he's performing against these teams. And this, to be honest with you, this is the time of the year that the MVP is won. It's post All-Star break. It's not
100%.
before that, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It's afterwards. So if he can go out there and do what he's capable of doing, and they continue to play teams like this and win like
Keep
this,
this win streak rolling.
yeah,
That's what's going to get him the MVP.
and I mean, they don't need to win 20 in a row for him to be the MVP, but he needs to play well every single night, which we know that
Man.
some other. I know he has been, but what I'm saying
You're
is
the MVP.
the,
MVP.
there have been
Here with
games.
me.
Get some.
There have been games where he was outplayed, like that Thunder game against SGA. SGA had a better game than him, but
Till Tatum locked them up in the second half.
in the fourth quarter, they didn't switch to it till like 6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
I'm just saying, though, I just think even okay, if Jaylen Brown, obviously I love Jason Tatum, a favorite basketball player. I mean, like ever. But if Jaylen Brown was leading this team in 3 categories, when a team is this good, it's like stop looking any further. Go to that team, see who the leader of that team is, because what this team is doing is impressive. It's valuable. Like, well, is there any value
His
in being
stock is up
48
right
and
now.
12?
His stock is up right now. I want to see him go in and win.
I agree. I would love to see him go
Phoenix.
destroy
That's what's going to get him.
Jokic.
That's what's going to give him a better chance at it. You got to win those.
If he outplays Jokic, think he's gone.
He's got
Call
he's
the
gotta win
NBA,
those
call
games.
Adam Silver, and let him know. Bing.
The
Behind
reason
Tatum.
why I think they haven't he's not garnered that much like momentum for the MVP is I think because we finally are now on a win streak. We've not got
Yeah.
past games. So now this is the time where he's again, like
Finally on
Joe
win
said,
streak. We have 12 losses.
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
but
what
still, it's
I
like you win
I
5, 6
get-
games is not like
No,
that.
I get now. Like, yeah, you're talking 11, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
also, it's like when we talk Jason Tatum needs to go into Denver, we need to win the game, right? And that's what shows Jason Tatum's leadership. Like, it's not Jason Tatum needs to go in there. Like, it used to be Jason Tatum needs to pop off for 40 points tonight. I want Jason Tatum to do whatever he needs to do to get us to win that game in Denver. Still, if we win that game and he led the team, like, yeah, if he goes 2 of 20, then no, he doesn't get it over Jokic. But if he goes in there and leads the games like he's been leading the games, I don't need him to drop 35 points in Denver for me to say he's better MVP candidate
Yeah.
than Nikola Jokic.
I think-
I
gotta
want him
win
to
the
play the
game.
game like he's been playing because
Gotta
he's
win
been
the
playing
game.
like a leader.
And I think part of it though is some of those performances where like the raw stats were okay. He wasn't that efficient like early in the season. That's really something that's changed for him over the last few weeks. I think Drew Hanlon posted about it. Like his pull-up percentage is way better now. Like he's just a lot more efficient at this point of the year, and that's when he's starting to get real traction in the conversation. And during the All-Star game break, they're gonna bring up the dumbest like points, like Windhorst and all them, and Perk and all them. Like it doesn't make any sense that they're talking about that at the All-Star break. But like as he's played well and played really efficient, and this team has got headlines for winning 10, 11 in a row and had these national televised games, like his spot on the ladder has moved up, and as teams are falling off, right? Like people are seeing through the fake Mavs that beat the freaking Hornets and the Blazers 3 times, you know what I mean? And as like this stupid Bucks run comes to an end because they're playing nobody, and right now they're losing to the freaking Clippers. The first time they run to some, they're running into someone decent. Like it's gonna happen. Like that's one of the best parts of what you're saying, Brandon, being on the best team. Like this team's not going to fall off. You know what I mean? Like the Bucks are going on a run right now and they're going to come down to earth. The Mavs went on a run and they're going to come down to earth. The freaking Sixers went on a run when Embiid was playing and now he's not even going to make 50 games this year. So I think that's part of it too. Is he also is a guy that's the team's gonna perform, but he's gonna play every freaking night. He doesn't miss games, so
Valuable.
he's only gonna help his own stock.
Yeah, I agree. And hey, 3 games nationally televised again this week for the
I think it's
Celtics.
just 7 in a row, right?
Yeah, 7 in a row. Nationally televised. Welcome to the Jason Tatum Showcase. Taking care of teams, knocking them out one by one. Got the Cavs tomorrow night. Then Thursday night against Denver. That's what Mike wants to see. So we can next week he can be on the show chanting MVP. And then off to play Saturday night, late night again against the Phoenix Suns. We'll be back next week. We promise 14-0. See ya.